right, we are going to work on dividing fractions. So we can do dividing fractions in a couple different ways, but you have to know some important vocabulary words. One of the most important vocabulary words in dividing fractions is invert. Invert means to turn something upside down. So for instance, if I have a human being who is standing on their feet, if I had that human being standing on their head instead, they would be inverted. We can do the same things with fractions. If we have 3/4, we can turn it upside down. This is called inverting the fraction. Invert is the action we do. This is now called the reciprocal of 3/4. The reciprocal of 3/4. So a reciprocal is just the original turned upside down or flipped. I know that we covered that in our previous lesson when we talked about dividing fractions earlier. So we're going to start out by looking at how to divide fractions by using models. So dividing fractions with models. Okay, the first model that we're going to look at is we're going to take a fraction, we're going to take a whole, and we're going to divide it into halves. And we're going to color in 1/2 of the whole. This is going to give us the first term that we're dealing with in our division problem, which is 1/2. Now, if I take the same size whole okay, and I cover in the same amount, which is 1/2, and I divide my parts so that they're smaller, I'm going to have more parts in that colored in space. Now, out of my whole, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces, this is 1/8. This is also 1/8. And this is also 1/8. And this is also 1/8. And this is also 1/8 and 1/8 and 1/8 and 1/8. This gives me the second number that I am dividing, the second number or the second term in my division problem, 1/8. So now when I look at this, I'm going to take 1/2 and I'm going to divide by 1/8. And I want to know how much is that going to give me? Well, let's count the pieces or the number of eighths that are going to be in 1/2. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 eighths in 1/2. Therefore, 1/8, 1/2 divided by 1/8 equals 4. We can do the same problem with different size pieces. And you'll see that even though our half is divided, the size of the pieces matters as to how many pieces are going to be in that area. So if I have 1/2, again, that's going to be the first number in my division problem, 1/2. And I'm going to take that same 1/2, and the reason I'm drawing it below is so that you can see I started with 1/2. I'm still using 1/2, but now I'm going to divide that half into something different. I now have sixths, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6. So I had 1/2. I'm dividing it by sixths. 1/2 divided by 1/6 equals 1, 2, 3 pieces. So 1/2 divided by 1/6 equals 3. You can also use what you know about reciprocals to write a number sentence and find the quotient of the fraction division problem. So, now we're going to do with numbers. So let's say I have 1/2 and I want to divide it by 1/12. There are some easy steps to follow to do this division problem. So I actually think this is one step in itself, so you will hear me call it invert and multiply. Invert and multiply. The reason that I tell you to invert and multiply in one step is because 1/2 times 1/12 is not equal to 1/2 divided by 1/12, and 1/2 divided by 12/1 is not equal to 1/2 divided by 1/12. So we have to do the inversion and the multiplying at the same time. Otherwise, we do not have an equal number sentence. So we're going to take 1/2. We're going to invert. So 1/12 becomes 12/1. And then we're going to multiply. So we invert and multiply in one step. Now, step 2, we can multiply the numerator times the numerator and the denominator times the denominator. Oops. Sorry, let me rewrite that. Numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. When we do that, we get 1 times 12 equals 12 over 2 times 1, which equals 2. Our third step is to convert our fraction. Convert fraction to a mixed number. And if applicable, simplify. If it applies, we're going to simplify. So we're going to take 12 halves and we're going to do some division. 12 divided by 2. 2 can go into 12 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. We have 0 left over. So our simplified answer is 6. So there are 3 easy steps to dividing fractions. Invert and multiply. Multiply the numerator by the numerator and the denominator times the denominator. Convert your fraction to a mixed number, and simplify if you can. So let me look through and see if there's anything that just stands out to me as something that you might need help with. So you do have some word problems in here, and the word problems are things like Lillian has 3/4 of a yard of wire to make jewelry. Each piece takes 1/12 of a yard of wire. How many pieces of jewelry can she make? So basically what that's doing is that's taking 3/4 and breaking into twelfths. And so that is a division problem. Let's see the next one. It looks like these are all going to be division problems. It does ask you, there's one that says a student solved a problem, and it shows you an example. And you have to select yes or no if the problem is solved correctly. So I would encourage you to make sure that before you answer that question, you look at each of the steps. What are you going to do? If you have questions, as always, please come and see me.